Hey guys and girls on Ask Japanese, it's Kathy Cat. This time we're gonna talk about real life and versus the expectations that foreigners have of dating in Japan. So let's find out what they are. Little disclaimer here, of course not all Japanese people are the same, so this is a broad, terrible generalization and no one should actually be watching this because it's probably going to be more on the pinch of salt kind of side, so don't take it too seriously. Number 1, and here is the absolute dream crusher. The thing that I want all of you to know is that Japanese girls are not anime girls. I know, that's the hardest one. I need to say that first. I'm sorry. Number 2. Anime girls are not a real presentation of Japanese girls, at least generally. And the reason this comes up twice is because some people seem to have these expectations. I am sorry, some things are just fictional. Those perfect girls, they're perfect because they're, drawn. I'm sorry. Number 3, girls do generally not fall from the sky. Nope. And they don't fall from the sky and decide to be your maid or your future fiancé. Hasn't happened so far. Hasn't happened to me, at least. Now, after all these crushing news, you might be thinking that the schoolgirl that is late for school, that is running with a toast in her mouth, is also not real. That one is actually real. Very rare, though. Ara, Koneko-chan, doushita no? Yes! Anime boys. They also don't exist in real life. But we kind of knew that. Somehow. You could say it. Dong! Kabedon! Also, doesn't happen in real life. Not even as a greeting. Not at all! That situation when the coolest boy of the class comes and, slams the wall behind you and corners you and it looks kind of... It looks kind of special and cool in anime manga. Doesn't generally happen. Also, if a total stranger did that to you, you'd probably feel kind of uncomfortable. But it can happen if you pay for it. Sometimes some underground idol boy groups will actually charge for a Polaroid in which they might give you a kabedon. So that's your chance to get a kabedon. There's no other way apparently right now. And probably not right now at all, actually. Oh, damn. You might have seen a plethora of those movies on YouTube where they say, oh, Japanese people, why are they naturally so skinny? No, we can tell you, we've interviewed people on the streets, Japanese girls are not naturally that skinny. A lot of people have a lot of things and a lot of issues with that one. Loads of really harsh diets, not eating the things they want to eat. We interviewed people about pizza. No Japanese girl in that interview had eaten a whole pizza by themselves. All that kind of stuff leads into them being so skinny. So it's a lot of hard work. So you're also going to meet some Japanese girls who are not skinny. And that's totally okay. So stop thinking that everyone is naturally skinny here. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. In 2017, we went on the streets of Tokyo and interviewed Japanese girls and boys about being a housewife in Japan. While the majority of young Japanese boys said they wanted to have a housewife who only stays at home, the majority of the Japanese girls said they would actually like to continue working. Now you do the math. But that doesn't mean that there aren't some Japanese girls who really want to be housewives. However, if you get yourself a girl that literally only wants to be a housewife, you need to make sure that you earn decent cash to afford that because she might not be taking any jobs on and just wants to be at home. So you have to earn more, and that might be a bit tricky if you are on an English teacher kind of salary, which sometimes happens to not really go up over the years. So you have to make some serious cash to get that waifu. Get that good waifu. Now you might be dreaming that your dream girl or dream boy just walks up to you in town and starts a conversation with you. That's not a common thing. Japanese people don't actually strike up conversation with strangers near the stations or just out on the streets and about. Generally doesn't happen. Damn! Yeah! Damn! However, when you are in Shinjuku as a girl waiting at the station or similar things like that, and an attractive, young, fashionable-looking guy comes up to you, starts a conversation, asks you, "Uchi no misu ni konai?" When I come to my store or my restaurant, place, bar, whatever, that generally means that he's a host, and you will have to buy him drinks all night. That's a thing here. Yes, girls buying guys drinks all night. Very expensive drinks. Yeah, just be careful with that. Same thing can happen to guys. Generally, if you're a foreign girl, it might be hard to actually have any guys come up to you. Japanese boys can be quite shy when it is about approaching foreign women, so that might also not generally happen. Sorry. Vice versa, same thing. A big thing in Japan right now are also the soushoku danshi. Soushoku danshi are boys who are absolutely not interested in women. They have absolutely no sexual interest in girls at all. They just don't care. They just don't want. And we've done an interview about that one before, but there seem to be more of those. So they're not interested in women. That might even mean you. As a boy, you might be expecting to do the little bill dance where you're like, "I pay," and then she's like, "Oh no, I'll pay for you." And he's like, "Oh no, I'll take that for you." That dance might not be happening because generally on dates, Japanese boys pay the bill. So you might go, "I pay," and you may wait for her to go, "Oh no, I'll help." She might say nothing. Or she might do it, but you shouldn't have told her. So generally you need to be smooth about it and just pay when she doesn't realize it. For example, when she goes to the bathroom, that's where you're supposed to kind of covertly, like a ninja, go to the counter and pay the bill. That's kind of the cool way of doing things. Since Japanese boys are expected to pay the bill, there's also a thing called "Tsutta sakana ni wa esa o agenai," meaning the fish that you already caught, you don't feed anymore. Meaning Japanese boys might take you as a girl to really fancy restaurants at the start, but once you start going out, you might just be invited to the local beef bowl hut, where like a beef bowl is like 300 yen or something like that. Yeah. Now, boys, if you think you're going on a date with a Japanese girl and you just gotta turn up and you're gonna just make it a fun day, whatever's gonna happen, you might be wrong, because many Japanese boys are actually expected to plan out the date, and you might be expected to do the same thing, meaning you need to know where you're going, you need to know which restaurant you're going to, maybe even book the restaurant seat in advance and have the whole day kind of planned out. That's like the best way of surprising a girl and just showing her that you can take charge. You know how to, look after her, take charge, and make the day awesome. Yeah, that's a bit of pressure, but you can do it. Foreign boys, message to you: men generally have to take charge and do the first move. Foreign girls, do not do the first move, because some Japanese boys might feel like you're a little bit taken away from the step that they wanted to do and might come across a little bit too offensive. For some people, apparently. If you thought you can just go on a couple of dates and let it run from there, you might be wrong. A lot of Japanese people expect a couple of dates in the boy to do a big grand move and make the relationship official, saying, "I really like you, would you like to go out with me?" It's kind of a bit of a ritual. Some do it, some don't, but generally it seems to be important that after a first couple of dates, you actually as a boy stand up, say, "You're the one I chose and I'm not gonna go dating with other people anymore," that kind of stuff. So make sure you state that properly so the girl doesn't feel anxious. Yeah, you actually need to say it out loud, I know. Might be a bit embarrassing, but come on, you can do it. If you thought you could be going on dates for like 10 years and so, you might be wrong, because generally Japanese girls will want to marry a lot earlier than you might be ready for. So you should definitely keep in mind that a lot of Japanese people date with marriage in mind, and the marriage might come before you're 30. So, sometimes even as early as 24. So be ready for that. Omiai! Matchmaking and similar things like that are still a thing in Japan, so arranged marriages and matchmaking, still a thing here. On some of those matchmaking sites, men generally look out for a girl's age, looks, and household skills. On matchmaking sites, women look at a man's income and whether he's a public servant or not for the secure work. Surprise! Many Japanese people do not actually want to marry a foreigner. Yeah, some people who don't. If you marry a Japanese person, you will have to show interest in their culture. That's a no-brainer. That's an absolute no-brainer. However, once you marry a Japanese person, generally their family and your family and the kids will become more important than your love for each other. That's a cultural thing that might not apply to everyone, but a lot of people actually put family before dabu relationships. And that's just how it is. You just need to know that. It is not uncommon in Japan that once kids are born into the relationship, those kids sleep in the same bed with the mother until the beginning of elementary school and sometimes even the end of elementary school. Maybe that is one of the reasons why Japanese people decide to rent love hotel rooms by the hour though. You know, the couple doesn't get privacy at home, they go somewhere else to have that privacy. While some people use the love hotel to spend some time with their spouse that they kind of don't get because they don't get the privacy in their own homes, other people use the love hotels to cheat on their spouse because they're so anonymous and all these kind of things. Yeah. You will probably never become an harem anime protagonist in Japan. Focus on one, and you might get lucky. That's all I can say to that. Don't expect 10 people to flock around you and try to date you. You might never get your anime waifu or your anime husband or those perfect people to be your wife or husband in real life, but your Japanese husband or Japanese wife are maybe just gonna be your very perfect and super amazing husband and wife in the future, in real life. And who is your perfect anime husband or waifu? Let us know in the comments down below.
お疲れ様です。
Okay. Now we know international relationships and marriages are always going to be difficult because you have different cultures, and understanding that is part number one. Communication with each other is super important as well, and then involving each other in each other's cultures. Tell them something about your culture, they will tell you something about their culture, and try to have an open mind and communicate, and just generally be a good, decent human being to them. Treat them special, and I hope things will go well for you. So, your real life versus expectations, I hope there weren't too many dreams crushed. Just be a decent human being, listen out for things, and listen out for them, and hopefully things will go well for you. We've done actually a lot of videos on dating Japanese people and similar things like that. We've interviewed Japanese people, we've given you a couple of dating tips and stuff like that too. So if you're interested in maybe in the future finding a Japanese husband or waifu here in Japan, be sure to comment, subscribe, and check out the videos we've already done. We're going to do more about this topic in the future. So thanks so much for hanging out here on Ask Japanese. My name is Kathy Cat, and if you want to hang out with us a bit more, subscribe, like, and check out our socials because we do other cool things. We have Instagram and all kinds of cool things. Check out our socials, and I'll catch you soon for another video. Thank you, bye!